This is the February 8th, 2025 SNHU Spontaneous Writing Session. We have read the first piece and we are moving forward towards the prompt. We just talked about setting in this. This piece is Words Fail Me at the Grocery Store Checkout by Esme Kaplan Kinsey. Somebody wants to Google that watching this video. And we've just been talking about setting and we're going to move into the prompt, which is I want you to pick a place, a physical location with extra meaning, or and this flip is really fun. A place that really shouldn't have extra meaning, but it does because of what happens. In this case, it could be what's going on in this grocery store. But I want you to write a story that engages whatever meaning does or doesn't belong in it. Maybe social and cultural. And then I throw out these really oddball ones that have nothing to do with what we read on purpose, just to shake your brains up. Maybe a person of color in a rural conservative setting, like my friend who works at the library here in very, very not diverse county. Um, Maybe an American in the Middle East, conservative country, like when I was deployed to Saudi Arabia and went downtown. Or a big plot in an inane, a big plot point in an inane place. So thinking of your fiction that you're writing, what if something huge happens, in the car wash, scrubbing a toilet, and extra credit in your writing if you can play with words, flash friend, like the call friend, the girl, the car friend, the cry friend. So just write what happens. And as you always know, I have these, kind of prompts. All that matters is the writing. All right, I'm setting the timer, everybody, and your marks get set. Right. You've got about a minute left. All right, do your best to come on back and we will head on to the next one. During those 5 minutes, I changed my mind, as I am wont to do. So let's scroll down to the fourth person, imagine the fire. And when you read the one that's on the second person, that's the Crossroads Diner, you really need to read it in Jessie's voice. I don't think it would work any other way, the way that she reads. And she's not here, and we need the way she would read it. So I switched to Imagine the Fire because it's also really fun to think about the fourth person collective, which is different than the first person plural and a use of we that describes groups. This one's slightly longer, definitely a flash length as opposed to a micro. Does anybody want to read Imagine the Fire by Allison Field Bell?
I'll go again,
Thank you, Randall.
unless somebody else wants to.
They're not jumping to the screen, so please
All
go.
right. Imagine the Fire by Allison Field Bell. We read the devastation in the newspaper, Coffee Park in paradise, but we don't have to. It's outside in the air, the ash, the thick clogged sky. We wonder who will be next, and will it be us? We remember a time before fire season, when the summer was just summer, not a gathering of kindling, when the fall was just fall, without the waiting. Now we look at our forest and imagine it aflame. The line of trees across from our neighborhood, pine, evergreen, no longer just the origin of that fresh, clean country smell, that lush country beauty, but a thing to be burned. We look at our houses and consider what photograph we would save, what piece of jewelry, and will the cat be found in time, or is it even safe to fall asleep in October, in November? We set up the alert system on our phones, and even when we aren't in California, we learn about small brush fires that could or could not be the next tragedy. Then, 1 October, we are evacuated. In the middle of the night, our phones go off. Cops drive through neighborhoods, announcing themselves, sirening down our streets. Panic, fear. We pack our photographs, our jewelry. We find the cat. We stare at the dark wall of trees beyond our windows, willing them to survive. We load into our cars and we are caught in a line of traffic. We imagine the fire coming now. What would we do? Where would we run? One way out, one way in. The cat cries in the back seat. We can't see any stars or discern any smoke. It seems like cloud cover, but we know better. The air is full of that burnt smell. We know that the sun will rise red and full behind a haze of swirling ash. We hope to be in the city by then, far away from trees in the dark, unlit corners of country where we have made our homes. Some of us will eventually move away. Too many question marks and too much to lose. We will take control, move to a desert without trees, where soon there won't be any water at all, but at least there are no fires. Or we will move to the Midwest, so wet and green and safe, but with winters growing harsher, less predictable. Better to freeze than burn, we think. We think to escape unscathed because we can't think that we won't. Can't believe that all we can do is watch our world burn, wondering what will be left. A wedding ring, a piece of pottery. In the line of cars, some of us honk at each other, but it doesn't sound impatient. It sounds like wailing, pain made palpable, like a woman mourning a loss she cannot even begin to imagine.
Thank you, Randall. And of course, I pulled these from a list of 2024 writing. So it's kind of fascinating to juxtapose this with what's been happening in Los Angeles and how this person writes about the countryside and that the city is safe. And it's just another thing to think about. There's an argument that this could be a first person plural, but I make the argument it's collective. So let's look at the prompt. Think of something that is a common experience for a collective, especially exciting ideas or how more famous and infamous experience feels collective because of media. So, when you're thinking of a collective experience, anything you've seen on the news works. All of us have witnessed 9/11, but very few of us were there, as an example. So try on anything that happens to a group of people, animals, any type of group, anything that can be written as a collective, and use the fourth person collective we to tell the story of a shared experience, even if it's through screens. And remember to use setting, be specific, and get into sensory detail. Are you ready? On your marks, get set, right. We have about a minute left. All right, do your best to wrap things up, please. So, in honor of Sarah, who will always be with us in these get-togethers, for our improv writing that we're about to do, which means I throw a word out to you and you try to incorporate it. I'm going to use her last starting prompt that she gave us, which is I will type it in the chat, but she had us do, and Suzanne, correct me if I'm wrong because you were there, but when the light went out, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to start off with these words, and let's find out what happens as we head into an improv writing session. So I'm setting the timer on your marks, get set when the lights went out. Your first word is oi, like oi, mood, mood, gazed, gazed, quivering, quivering, oversized, oversized, analysis, analysis, intimidation, intimidation, uninjured, uninjured, risk, risk, clattering, clattering, and you have a minute to wrap things up. Okay, that's it. Time is up. Do your best to wrap it up. These speed rounds are brutal, aren't they? You're just writing and writing and writing. Yeah. But we have one round left. And um, what we're going to do now is I want you to take your favorite sentence from what you've written, find something that's meaningful to you, and then write the story that happens out of that sentence for the next 6 minutes. I'll give you just a second to take your sentence out of your writing and find the one that is meaningful for you. Okay. I hope you have your sentence. I'm going to kick off the timer. I'll let you know when there's a minute left. Go. You have about a minute left. Okay, try to wrap things up, please. I know this is fast and furious when we do it this way. And I do think one of the reasons that it works is because we already know each other. So I don't know what we need to do if like groups of new people come in and we're not as familiar with each other, if we need to slow down and do a two-person, like a two-prompt one again. But for now, I mean, this is really fun for me. How's it going for you, gal, out there?
My arm fell off.
Struggling. My helper's not helping.
But is it more fun to come away from these writing Saturdays with more material? Yeah, okay. I just want to do what's best for you. That's my only motivation. Well, so we're so on track to have everybody be able to read and be done by 10:30, which was the original, like the original intent of these weekends was an hour and a half. So does anybody want to kick us off with reading one of the pieces that you got that you like? And can you tell us which one it came from, please?
I can go
Suzanne's
first.
nodding. Okay, great.
Okay, so what I'm gonna read is from the Spontaneous, plus a couple sentences from the last one because I just continued on with the scene. This is gonna be one of, or I think I'm gonna integrate it to my thesis. So if it doesn't
Yay!
sound good, let me
I love that it's useful. Okay.
When the lights went out, Rosalie yelped, "Oi!" It helped lighten the mood a hairbreadth away, easing the snaking tension that coiled down my back. Lydia gazed at me unblinkingly as she relit one candle. "Let's try this one more time," Lydia said. She chanted the words that I didn't understand, words that I'm almost sure she made up, until a ghost stood quivering in the corner. She wore an oversized suit jacket that couldn't have been hers, not with her hair, or what probably was once a pretty updo, and the short dress adorned with jewels and glitter. "What's your name?" Lydia asked, the beacon of intimidation. It was easy for her to say, as she was uninjured, unlike the poor dead girl in the corner. "I can't believe we were risking this. Summoning a ghost when so many were around, their voices clattering in the other room. At least there was just two here." I said, Lydia's voice was harsh. Only Nita and other people who annoyed her received that tone, and I was glad that I was not on the receiving end of it for once. "What is your name?" The girl looked over to us, her eyes wide. Makeup ran down her cheeks, her mouth opened and shut like she was trying to remember it. "Sonia?" I asked. The girl's gaze locked on Sonia's her lips. If she were alive, I'm sure they would be white with how tight she held them. And she nodded. Sonia was a girl who had been killed last year. Her body had been found, wilted and dried out, with moss started to claim her. "What? Where am I?" she asked, looking around. It was pretty dark in here, save for the one lit candle. "We're at Lydia's house," Rosalie said. The girl's eyebrows knitted together.
Ooh, good job. All right, everybody, jump in, especially because many of us know the story. How exciting! What do we love? And I muted everybody way back when we started writing, so just know that you're probably muted if you're talking.
The moss description was my favorite part because it really drove home. It's so easy to just in like a sterile environment think about, oh, this person's dead, but things like that bring in that visceral detail where you're like, oh, gross, I can smell this now. So
Yeah, and a really great indicator of passing time. Sorry,
I
go
like the
Jane.
makeup going down the face because I think we've all been there at one point. Well, at least most of us have all been there where you've been so upset you just like have the makeup just running down your face. You don't care at the point in time.
Everett
And it was
added the
cute that
voice.
you put in, what is it? That there's it's like she was just making up words. It's like you're trying to write down and make up words.
Yeah. And also Everett's point, the voices clattering in the other room was really cool because that clattering gives you a sense that you don't really understand them, but that they are an intrusion, which is really nice. Yeah, and then I didn't get it down because it was at the end, but the knitted eyebrows at Lydia's name. Yee! So it's an amazing foreshadowing, and if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, bravo, bravo. That's really great.
Well, going back to what Randall said with the dead body and how he could smell it, like I could literally smell the formaldehyde. Um, she's probably not in the morgue, but that's where she's gonna end up. So I could literally smell the awful smells of formaldehyde and a dead body in the morgue.
Mm.
Just like,
And what a concept. What if ghosts did present with a sensory detail like smell? What would they smell like? Because we're so accustomed to them just being apparitions that don't have smell. It's a thought. I mean, sometimes there'll be a smell that'll accompany a ghost appearing. I don't know. It might be useful. It's a good idea. Yeah. Well, bravo, bravo. That's fantastic. I love this. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay, thanks, Randall.
Conveyor belt, and I'm doing the first prompt.
Okay.
Conveyor belts and boxes, scanners beep, dust flies, and sweat rolls with curses as logistics does its thing. For years, it was just a place of numbers and strategy, hard work and business. I took pride in that work and still do. It's something more now. On that stained concrete slab, you passed me your first offering. A $3 energy drink might seem a paltry gift to some, but it was water to a dying man in the desert for me. We shared material gifts and exchanged glances. You touched my hand or brushed against my waist as you passed and pretended it was an accident. I can only grin as I memorize the way every strand of hair falls around your face. You pass your drink and your love in small sips, and I'm ready to beg for one long, deep gulp to finish the healing you've started. For now, though, I'm content to let you help me survive.
Oh, beautiful. I'm typing.
Love that part that you content to let you.
Nice. That's your drink and your love. Yeah, so beautifully unexpected, and for one, really realistic, which is a departure. Not every time, but you rarely write realistically. So already fun because we're in a world we recognize, not just by you making the world setting, right? Uh, Water to a dying man hit a couple of us. We all we all have little devil horns for love sips deep gulp, right? Um, and then I think we love the content to let you help me survive part. So those are what are showing up in the chat. What else do we love?
And sweat rolls like curses.
Oh
That
yeah,
was cool.
yeah, yeah. I wonder, is it sweat and curses, or is it like, if the character wishes they could curse as much as they're sweating? Yeah. What's really interesting also from my perspective is that, you have a conveyor belt and boxes. So like there's this sense of the job is really hard because of the sweat and constant movement. So to fit in like what begins as maybe a slight flirtation or at least a like a opening awareness of some kind of potential for a relationship seems impossible in the setting, which is excellent. And then to have the energy drink be water in the desert to a dying man, um, it's it's so layered in its meaning, which we watch you do all the time, Randall, when it's fantasy, and it feels ridiculously, it feels like it'd be easier in fantasy, and yet here is something really real. And you sorry, I have this new watch that tells me when I haven't moved enough, and it just displeases me.
Yeah.
And so here's this very real thing. It has all the layered meanings. Like this guy literally needs an energy drink, but he needs so much more, right? Interesting and very. Would everybody agree? And I hope this isn't going too far, but very sexy, right? Like it vibrates with desire in a really cool way. Yeah. That one feels like it could get polished up and sent along to places, in my opinion.
100%.
Anybody else missing a chance to say what you love about it before we move on?
I want to say that I love everything about it. And it was a really great story. And I just loved how the realness and how it felt so, authentic. I love that. Also, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to cut this short because somebody here is hungry and I've got to go feed her because she won't stop biting me.
Do you want a chance to read, or are you going to go?
I got to go. She's
Okay.
not giving me a.
No problem.
Thank you so much for having
Yeah,
me.
it was so
And I
great to
will
have
see
you
y'all
here.
next time.
Yeah, thanks. Um, oh, she said something that I wanted to jump on. Losing my mind. Oh no, yeah, so relatable too. I mean, that's the thing, right? Have I talked about the way this David L. Robbins guy talks about it? I did. The absolute truth versus the profound truth, right? And so absolute truth is your unique experience, and the profound truth is sort of the way that it's relatable to everybody, the universal experience. And it's very specific to this location, and yet we all recognize what's happening there. It's relatable to us all. Yeah. Great. As I let the dog out the door, who wants to go next? Oh, stop. Usually they can handle it the whole time, but not today. I think we actually only have two more people reading because Everett's going to pass this time. Oh, and Colleen's not going to read because you have a junkie virus. Oh, so Lori, we're done. Oh my
Oh,
God, you guys, we're
well,
going to do this in like an hour and 5 minutes. Okay. Lori, do you want to read?
sure. It's the second and third one. Started with the
Okay.
second, moved to third.
Okay.
We're stared at, poked at, groped, fondled, and tossed aside like 70s leg warmers. We want to scream, we feel, we hurt just like you. We crave love just like you. When the lights go out, we cry, but there's no one there to hear us. Can we be heard? Boy, the security guard heard us. He scowls and passes by. We want freedom, not imprisonment. Our mood darkens further. We gaze at the window, watching people pass by, oblivious of our feelings, our hurt. One of us is quivering. Be still, the guard will return. The quivering lessens, but the guard is still watching. We're being analyzed, assessed. How much more intimidation can we bear? Our oversized emotions are threatening to explode. Can we emerge uninjured? Likely not, but we must take the risk, must stand up for ourselves. What's that? We perk up. The clattering of the steel door reaches our ears. We're about to become nothing but objects on display once more. Maybe today we will be chosen, wanted, loved. Maybe today we will get the lives we deserve. Maybe today we'll be moved from the flashing blue light table to the full price rack.
Ah.
I just came from the Kmart comment that Katie said.
I was like, but how can you make this into the toe story? Because I think that would be
Oh,
nothing
no,
too.
Yeah,
I had really nothing today.
I actually thought that's where we were at first in the toe
I
story.
should have done that. Yeah. The toe socks.
But also awesomely, all of us were the tension that gets felt in this piece is because we don't know what it is, right? And so we're
Oh,
so excited. Like, what is it? What is it? What is it? Right? And we were willing to hang in there. And then I think I laughed out loud, the flashing blue light table to the full price rack. And it's fun because we get led down this path of tension, and then we're like, oh, sale items.
Mhm.
And yet, you create, yeah, you as a as Everett said, you create tension with the speed and the alliteration, and I agree with all of that. And then definitely, I didn't feel let down that it was sale items. In fact, I enjoyed the ride and went, oh, like a puzzle.
Yeah.
And I think it's possible to be let down on something. Hi, Jordan. To be let down on something that's, that sort of simplistic at the end. But it also makes us, like when you personify something like that we don't value, um, it's easy to be let down, and instead we're like, nah, we're in. I don't know why. There's the magic in the middle that makes it work. More thoughts? Am I jumping over everybody and stomping on everybody's choices to say things as I'm just talking?
Just
Well,
reminded me of shopping at Filene's back when they were open, and you go through all the pile and everything, and I'd feel sorry for the clothes that I'm throwing aside with everyone else.
so
And
funny.
here's
It's
all the
like
full price things looking down on them.
I don't know if they still have them, but is there a video bin still at Walmart where you used to just like,
Oh,
dive into it?
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that, all the unwanted movies, right? Awesome. Well, I just want to check in and say, is this format still working with the speed rounds? Okay. It's kind of cool that we finish faster, but we don't hear as many people's pieces, so maybe we don't create as much camaraderie, but we already have it because we know each other. Yeah. So I got a 7 out of 10 from Suzanne. Is that right?
Okay. It's from Ty. He's sitting on my keyboard.
7 out of 7.
Yeah.
Thank
Seven
you,
out of ten.
Ty.
7 out of 10 from Ty is pretty high praise. He normally gives
Yeah.
twos and threes.
He gave
Oh, so
Max a 2001 and some other words today too.
yeah, he's awesome. He's a very good typer. I think we underestimate his capability.
Yeah.
We should do a speed round with Ty's words one day.
Oh my God, that would be so great. Like, just how do you fit this number or nonsensical word? Sorry, Ty, into writing. Well, as always, it's amazing to get to spend a Saturday morning with you. And on the one hand, I'm sorry it's short, but also that means that you all can get to your Saturdays in the snow in Seattle area sooner. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're getting it starting at midnight.
Are you? We're just cold. We're having a couple flakes of snow and it's like 0 outside. So,
We've got
yeah.
like 3.5 inches, like in the past couple of days, and we're getting at least 8 this weekend. So
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, we
You're-
we have, a good foot and a half on the ground. That's just gross because it's been there for 2 months. So,
Mm.
and Colleen's starving for it. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Uh
You're
if I
muted,
could,
so you
I'd pray
said
over you,
something out loud.
Colleen, but I can't do that.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your time and being together. And I hope you don't have a drought in the spring, Colleen. It's so fun to see your faces again. I've missed you over the last 3 weeks. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, hopefully. That's the plan. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
bye.
Bye.